Sometimes the hardest part is getting started. So I want to share with you what I have learned from doing 3 big closet clear outs in the last 4 years to help you get through the first category of the KonMari method. Let's go. Hi guys, it's Laura from How to Get Your Shit Together, and I help busy people get organized, get motivated, and get clearer closets. I first started the KonMari method 4 years ago now, before it was cool, and have decluttered my closet twice since that first time. So I have picked up a few tips and tricks along the way to make the process go a lot more smoothly. Learn from my mistakes, folks. I'm going to focus on items of clothing, but most of the advice will still apply to the other bits and bobs in this category: shoes, jewelry, accessories, bags. First, try to figure out the style you are going for. When you have an idea of how you want to look, it will be much easier to decide whether a particular item of clothing fits in with that look. For example, if you want a bright, colourful closet, you're probably going to rethink the 17 pairs of black pants. But if you want to look maybe more professional, or you want a more uniform style, or maybe you're going for the goth look, the pants might be part of that equation. Also think about the last outfit that you wore that you felt uncomfortable in and try to figure out why. I have always loved more kind of form-fitting things because I am reasonably slim, but since having a baby, not so much. But I was still buying that type of clothing because that's just what I'd always done. That's the type of clothing that I was attracted to. Things change. There is a difference between loving an item and loving it on you. On the flip side, try to think of the last outfit you wore that you felt great in, that you just loved. Again, try to figure out why, and that will make it much easier to determine if an item of clothing meets that criteria. How do you want your clothing to make you feel? Do you want to feel comfortable and cozy, like me? Do you want to feel, glamorous and sexy? Do you want to feel polished and put together? I mean, you can, of course, have different personas at different times, but choose the ones that match your personality and then pick your items accordingly. And that speaks to my next point, which is to focus on what you are keeping, not on what you're discarding. Focus on the clothes that make you feel the way you want to feel, that make you look the way you want to look. Things should earn a space in your closet and in your home. Whatever doesn't can be donated because it will match somebody else's style much more than it matches yours. Okay, now it is time to dive in and get started with the actual decluttering. If you are overwhelmed, or maybe you're just very short on time, break things down into subcategories. Ideally, you would drag everything out and put it all in one big giant pile. But if you can't even imagine doing that, then start with your socks. Then underwear, outerwear, tops, bottoms, you get the idea. Here is another helpful hint that I learned. If you have hanging clothes, don't bother removing them from the hangers. If you get rid of something, fine, take it off, but otherwise save yourself the time of removing everything and then having to put it all back on. You're welcome. And here is a little bonus tip. If you have some hanging space in your laundry room, put extra hangers in there. That way it is so much easier to just hang things straight from the dryer and not just leave them in a pile for several months. Not that I would know. If you are not sure where to start, and maybe the concept of sparks joy is really confusing to you, you're not really sure what it means, pick something obvious, something that you clearly love and couldn't live without. Alternatively, pick something that you know you could easily live without, and then progress from there. You could even try to rank them, starting with your favorite items and working your way down. You will eventually get to the meh point. Technical term. For stuff that doesn't fit right now, but it does spark joy, box it up and put it away with a deadline date. Your closet should only be filled with the things that fit and flatter your current size and shape, the things that make you feel great right now. Otherwise, you're just going to be rooting through junk to get to the stuff that you really want, to get to the stuff that you actually can wear. And seeing all that other stuff, it's just going to make you miserable. Get it out of your daily sight. If the deadline date comes and goes and you are still nowhere near where you thought you would be, donate that stuff and embrace your new shape. I promise you, you are still wonderful and you deserve so much more than an if only life. Ditto goes for anything else in your closet that doesn't belong there. Spare blankets, unwanted gifts, kids' toys, wrapping supplies. And look, if you were serious about sewing on that button, you would have done it by now. If you're not willing to do it today, throw it away. If you are extremely stuck for space and these items cannot go anywhere else in your home, then at least put them on a really high shelf or in some other way separate them so that you're not, digging through old photos just to find a pair of socks. Now, chances are that along your travels, you will come across something that you have never worn. It's still got the tags on, maybe it's still in a box or a bag. If you want to keep it, take the tags off. If you don't want to take the tags off, you don't really want to wear it. This is a good time to mention those things that cost a lot of money. I have been there. It's hard to let go of them because it feels like such a waste. You feel obligated to get some wear out of them just to justify the expense. But the money is gone. And it's not coming back. It's not coming back if you wear it one time. It's not coming back if you wear it 50 times. You are not going to feel any happier even if you wear it 100 times. You think you'll feel better, but you really won't. You could try sell it to recoup some of your costs, but you are getting nothing back by keeping it. Thank it for the valuable lesson that it taught you and let someone else get the wear out of it. Speaking of thanking things, do it. If you are like how I was, you think it's pretty silly. But decluttering so many clothes, and you will declutter so many clothes, comes with a lot of feelings of guilt and remorse and wastefulness and what the feck was I thinking? Taking a moment to compose yourself and to say, hey, this was nice. I wish you well on your way. It really does make a difference. It makes it easier to part with things and to feel less about it. Another technical term. Okay, so you have gone through a few things, some spark joy, some don't, and now you've come up against something that you're just not sure about. You are agonizing over it. You haven't worn it in a while, but you still do kind of love it. But you're just not sure if it fits you properly anymore. But it's really cute, and on and on and on. And this is where I am going to advise you to do something that slightly goes against the KonMari method. Start a maybe pile. This was one of the best things that I did. This process is going to take a while. There are certain things that are going to slow you down. Leave them until the end. In the beginning, when you're first starting, you're going to want to build up as much momentum as you can and then run with it for as long as you can, because as soon as you hesitate, you will lose steam. If you can't make a decision within a few seconds, set it aside. You do not want to get to the end of the day and still be facing a big pile because you spent so long second guessing yourself over some strappy top. Okay, you've gone through everything and all that's left is your maybe pile. Here are some tips for tackling it as quickly as possible. The first thing to do is to remove any items of clothing that are actually sentimental. We all have them, a concert t-shirt or that dress you wore on that special occasion or whatever. You don't wear them anymore, but you're not ready to part with them. That's fine. You can keep them. Just don't keep them in your closet. You know that memory box you have in your basement? Yep. Then there will be other things that you will want to try on just to be sure. Go for it. Just remember the style that you are going for and the way you want to look and feel. If in doubt, wear it out. Like outdoors, outside, out and about. Wear it for a day and then see how you feel. You will know pretty quickly whether it's staying or going. I had a top that I wasn't sure about, so I wore it for a day and the tag tore the skin off me. So that was the end of that. And then there will be those items that you can't figure out why you don't like them. You keep trying to make it work, but it's just not happening and you're not sure why. And the reality is that it doesn't matter why you're not wearing it, you're not. So stop agonizing over it and trying to figure it out. Just fling it. By now you probably have a reasonable size of things to dump or donate. Put it all in a box or a bag and then close it up so you never have to see it again. Otherwise, you will start having second thoughts. Happens to the best of us. Now go put that stuff in your car or in the bin straight away. Get that stuff out of your home as quickly as possible. There is no point in going through all of that hard work and then just sitting and staring at that stuff for the next 6 months. Get it gone. Right, it is time to reorganize. Before you put everything back, clean. Whip out your fluffy duster, give everything a good going over, pull out the vacuum cleaner. There is no point in putting your joy sparkers back into a big dirt heap. Now think about how you want your clothes to be organized. For me, I like to organize them by type. So strappy tops, short sleeve tops, long sleeve tops, etc. You may prefer to organize them by color maybe, or by occasion. So, you know, this section is for work clothes, this is for casual clothes, this is for special occasions. Whatever. Just think about what works best for you. If you share a space with somebody, keep your stuff as separate as possible so you know where their clothes end and yours begin. And then, whether you are hanging or folding, go ahead and put the stuff back. And don't be afraid to tweak things if they're just not quite right. It's not just the clothes that should spark joy, but the way that they're set up and presented as well. If you want even more tips on completing the KonMari method, then click on over to this short playlist and remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos on this topic. Until then, go raibh míle maith agaibh, agus feicim mé sibh se go luath. Slán!